Hello again. It's me and my dog and my guitar. All right, and today we are learning about, it doesn't have to be all learning, but we're leaving addictions with this song by Lionel Richie. And I heard it the other day. I was roller skating and it was on my shuffle. It's on my playlist and it came on because I had it on random, And I have one with Willie Nelson singing with Lionel Richie. It's like a duet. And he comes in, he plays his harmonica. It's so awesome. I'm just skating by the ocean. And it's like just easy like Sunday morning. So it's a song that Lionel Richie wrote when he was in the Commodores. And they played it, and I looked it up, 1977. I had to look it up. So welcome all of you live and coming later. I know some of you don't want to show up on my live because I am a psychologist in my day job. So I understand that. But anyway, I come live anyway, and it's not easy to do, right? The easy way is the shortcut way, the way that the path of least resistance. Elliot had that in a song. I was friends with this guy, Elliot. There was a musician. He's not here anymore, but he just said, follow the path of no resistance. Da, 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 da. Speed Trials, I think that was the name of that song. But anyway, so I'm going to sing the song, and then we're going to just see what comes up. I already got some stuff. I woke up at 4 a.m. And I was like, what song are we doing tomorrow? I might as well just ask God while I'm up before I fall back asleep. And I got the strangest intuition, but I just followed it. And I often listen to one of the Narnia books on Audible if I can't sleep. Sometimes we get stuck in our brain, and so our brain just chatters and goes on all the stories of life and the problems that our egotism tries to make problems, because everything's a problem, because the egotism feels really important when it can figure out problems and solve them. No, it's not that we don't solve problems. It's important to solve problems, but we don't want to make problems just so some other part of us feels important, because it's always solving a problem, I don't want to go find some problem boyfriend so I can keep solving his problems and play God in his life. No, why not just heal that part of me and stop being invested, or you, if you're a guy with a girl or whatever, heal that part so that we don't have to be in our egotism anymore, and we don't have to find a butterfly just went over the fence. When I said that, right? Why don't we transform from being a caterpillar and our egotism, which is a necessary step to get back to our soul essence, our real selves, and free ourselves of that with God's help. I say with God's help, but let's see. So in the middle of the night, I started, instead of the Horse and His Boy, I listened to that a lot, the Audible of that. That's one of C.S. Lewis's Narnia books. I got the intuition to play. It just said, in my heart, whatever you want to call it, drop down from your head into your heart. I trust sometimes in the quiet. You can't just take everything that comes at you, because your old programming will say, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? So you have to learn how to subdue your flesh. It's called... in the church, they teach the 3 enemies of your soul are the world systems, and going, oh, just follow this way where everyone is running to. That's the way to do it. The world, no, that's not. You got to use discernment and wisdom. That's what wisdom is about, right? You get discernment. Take what's good from what the world has and leave the rest. But anyway, the world, the flesh, and the devil are the 3 enemies of the soul, according to ancient church practices. And it's, we don't want to just throw the baby out with the bathwater if you've been hurt by churches or hurt by people misusing that institution or misusing Christ himself. you know, look at the way Christ lived. He lived a pretty free life, right? If you think of someone that was free. But he said, I always did the will of my Father. He always did the highest will. He always yielded to something higher than just what your flesh. My flesh can be like, I want lunch right now. Forget about this. It's lunchtime, you know? But it's like, no, this is the time I set aside to do, you know, my guitar practice. Like, I don't know if you can see my fingers, right? And singing, and I'm sharing this 1 hour with you, where whatever comes through in the song can come through at the same time. Or, oh, I want to go back to sleep because I didn't get enough sleep last night, you know, or I just want to go on a walk. It's so pretty outside, or whatever. You can have all these desires, and there's not like those are wrong desires. But it's like, if I keep saying, I'm going to do whatever my flesh wants, well, then it's the loud. If I want to drink right now, if that's the loudest because I kept feeding that, then that's what I'll keep enabling. And I don't want to enable the lower parts of me. I'm worth something more than just giving in. If my kid says, I want candy tonight for dinner, you know, then I'm not going to do that because that's not what's best. But last night we both wanted something sweet, and it was, so I just went and made some brownies for us. You know, we had like a brownie each, 1 brownie each, and then I put some in the freezer and left some for today or tomorrow, whatever, you know. Anyway, so that's that. Like, chocolate is good, but in moderation. Anyway, so I woke up at 4 a.m. and I got this intuition, and it was like chapter 4 of The Power of Now. This is by if you want to call it a secular writer, you know, this guy Eckhart Tolle, who knows a lot about living in this in the present. That your egotism always wants to go in the past and be like, look at what I did, or oh, I did all these horrible things, and try to make you feel bad about the past or inflate you about the past. Either way, it doesn't care because it's getting a high off of something in the past. Or it goes, look at what I'm going to accomplish in the future, and it tries to build that up. Or, oh, nothing ever good is going to happen in the future, and it tries. And then it's a problem that you have to try to figure out. And so it's like, why not just be present? And so he's really good in this way about teaching how to be present. He teaches some things about Christ that I do not agree with at all. But I understand why he's coming at it from that perspective. It's just like, you know, if someone that studied psychology could teach you like 100 amazing things about psychology that you never thought before. But if he or she is off on their understanding about God and they start talking about God, it's like, no, wait, you're not understanding. If you actually looked deeper with these 100 things, you might see that God is actually operating that way towards this true thing that you just said, but it can get twisted. So sometimes I have a problem, you know, referencing other people because I don't want people going down rabbit holes and getting all mixed up. But I'll just trust that it came up for a reason, and I have it over here. Oh, surprised by joy too. Oh, and I have this part in my book that I quoted Eckhart Tolle in this 12 Ways to Heal from Trauma. And look, the note goes up, backwards on that. Spiritual and psychological, right? That's by me. That's, anyway, there's a chapter in here about addictions, but it's just like, be sober in all things, do the boring thing. But anyway, if we go to chapter 4, let me see what chapter 4 is, because it was the middle of the night. But I don't want to be stuck in a book. I want to get on my guitar. Chapter 4. Oh, look at all this stuff I underlined from some other time. Mind strategies for avoiding the now. Okay, well, that's what I was on. And so, okay, so it's so funny because I had just prayed, like, God, you know, what song is best for this time, for tomorrow, for the people. And I was just, the next line, I got like, rewind the Audible to 6 minutes in. It was like, or 7 minutes in. I think it was 7 minutes in. I get these weird, whatever. And it was like, Eckhart's saying, because he was reading it, he's saying, it's helpful during the day to say, am I at ease? Ask yourself, am I at ease in this moment? You can ask yourself that right now. Am I at ease in this moment? And all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's the song I listened to Saturday with Willie Nelson and Lionel Richie. You know, it's like easy like a Sunday morning. All right. And so I'll sing it and then we'll get into this easy place. And so it was just coming to me again. And I know I did one teaching on this before. I don't know how many years ago or when I did that, but I could keep teaching the song 100 different times. So I'm not worried about that. But just so you know, if you heard the last one, some of you may have. But, all right, let's just sing before my voice gets all cold again. I mean, I know, whatever. Sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow. Seems to me, girl, you know I've done all I can for you. See, I begged, stole, and I borrowed. Why I'm easy, easy like a Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy, easy like a Sunday morning. Why in the world would anybody put chains on me? See, I paid my dues to make it. Everybody wants me to be what they want me to be. And I'm not happy when I try to fake it. That's why I'm easy, easy like a Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy, easy like a Sunday morning. So high, I wanna be free to know the things I do are right. I wanna be free, just me. Easy like a Sunday morning. that's funny. I'm used to like, all right, stop the video. But anyway, I'm not gonna stop. Don't stop, right? Don't stop to get enough. Like, no, not like that. But anyway, persevere. That's one of the ways we get over addictions, is persevere on the highest path. All right. So, do you see my dogs? She's so cute. Did I have her? I have her in the frame, right? Aww. I ought to get, yeah. So yeah, she's just asleep. All right. And that's what a lot of us are. We're asleep to the higher part of ourselves. This part that, when Christ says, I came to give you life and life abundantly, it's this word Zoe. It's to wake you up to your true life. The word metanoia, I've talked about this before, is the word for repentance. It's a metamorphosis of your perception. Nous in Greek. I took Greek for 2 years, so I can say this, is your perception, your ability to understand divine things. And so a transformation of your ability to understand divine things. That's what the word repentance is. So everyone says, oh, I need to repent of that. Yeah, it's important that you come to a transformation of your understanding. Like, if you're doing something in your life right now that you wouldn't recommend to a 9-year-old or a 16-year-old or your 18-year-old son or your 18-year-old daughter, then it's important to look at, why would you put in the effort to teach them something higher and better, and yet you don't do that for yourself? And so I was taught, I did my internship with McGill University in Montreal at the Montreal General Hospital. This guy named Dr. Alan Circus, this Jewish guy that was just amazing. And he taught us how to use words and how to, like, if someone comes in, know how they're operating within 10 words. If they just say, I am depressed, that means I'm using this daily bread. Like Jesus said, when you pray, you say, give us this day our daily bread, or like Buddhists might understand it as chi or something like that. The word actually means like super substantial, that which I need physically, spiritually, psychologically, for my well-being, whatever. It's like all of this. When Jesus says, my shalom, my peace, I give unto you, that means nothing missing, nothing broken. I give you my wholeness, right? And so anyway, when we're praying for the daily bread, we're asking the divine source that makes, the sunlight outside and the grass to grow and all of our food to grow. He's the source. It's beyond he and she. God is beyond he and she. It's a spirit. Jesus says there will be a time when people worship in spirit and in truth. And God made us in the image of the divine spirit. Image and likeness. Anyway, so spirit is beyond him and her. Even if you look at, I was reflecting at this at 4 a.m. too, or maybe 5. Our Father who art in heaven, that you can say Father, Pater in Latin, maybe? Or no, in Greek too, but in Aramaic, it says you art in heaven, and the word heaven is feminine. So even if Father is masculine, but it's beyond masculine, it's like the source of all, who art in this heaven, this divine feminine realm, this realm of beauty, where beauty is reigning, real beauty, which is real truth and real love. But anyway, so you ask, give us this day our daily bread. Give us the super substantial. Give us what we need today. Where was I going with all that? Oh yeah, metanoia is help me come to this higher understanding that, oh yeah, lazy. Okay, so I learned in Montreal, one more thing, is he taught us, Dr. Alan Circus, Surkis, taught us that when someone says, oh, I'm so lazy, right? That's, oh, wait, yeah. I'll go to lazy just a second. Let me write down lazy so I don't miss it. I was talking about depressed first. If someone comes in and says, I'm depressed, it's like I'm using my daily energy instead of for it to bring me life and help me go to these higher places. I'm using it. I don't trust that people are going to treat me well because I've had bad experiences in my past. So that became part of my programming in my brain that needs metanoia, repentance from, coming to a higher understanding from, like a healing, if you want to call it that, or just shift to a higher understanding. So I don't trust people. And so I don't know how to protect this heart of mine. So depression, and just like any addiction, is a thing that I'm going to use because I don't yet know a better one. And so instead of having this great juicy heart that's meant to be here to love other people and receive real love and know how to have good boundaries around that, so the good, all the other hearts can come in and the arrows stay out. I don't trust that. No one taught me how to do that. So I use my energy to press down, to depress my heart. And then I'm numb, so I don't feel all these arrows that come in and try to hurt me. I have a picture of, I might have a picture of that. I think I do in my book. Let me see if I can find it. But anyway, it's not closed from chapter 4. But I drew a picture for us. Like I had to edit this whole thing and draw it. And anyway. Life is a balance of holding on and letting go. I had that quote in there. I think that was a Rumi quote. Anyway, I'll try to find the one drawing. Oh yeah, I did that drawing. Oh my gosh. Whatever. I think it was before that. I have a feeling. So while I'm looking for that. So depression is that. So depression is, it's a defense I use because I don't yet know a better one. That's metanoia, repentance, is turning from that old, like lower method of operating to something higher, right? And so Jesus was always walking in the higher. He's walking in the higher realms. Yeah, that's a Rumi quote. All right. Oh, so that was in my other book. I know it's in my other book. And I just saw that in my garage today when I was walking on the treadmill. Walking on a dream. I ought to have that one out here. This is the drawing I did about, like, this is the core way you're operating, and it shows up in your kids, in your home, in your body, at your work, at your church, or whatever, and how you do relationships. I think that's the friendships, relationships, social life. And then if you don't start healing this, then you teach your kids this, and then your kids start having problems, and then we get caught up in all these other problems. And if we just start healing this at the core and letting God heal us, then it changes everything. I thought I had the depression thing. I have it in like my folder of like laminated things that I teach from. But anyway, we don't need to go to that. Let's just trust this song. So back to depression. Back to lazy then. Okay, so lazy is... when you call yourself lazy, stop yourself, because I learned this, and it's helped me. I learned this over 25 years ago, right? Not to date myself. I'll say I learned it when I was 5, because I'm perpetually around 28. Anyway, 28 to 30. 30 and flirty. No, that's from the movie. That movie. I forgot what it's called, but it has Jennifer Garner in it. She stays 30, whatever. My mom loves that movie. Lazy is, I don't know that I'm worth the effort. That's all that is. It's because you know you are not a lazy person. You know that. You have worked hard in other areas of your life. But when it comes to ourselves, sometimes we don't put in the effort to let go of smoking, let's say, or let go of drinking too much, or going to food too much, or running after unavailable men or women, or sabotaging our own marriage or relationship, or not standing up in that relationship to go, hey, our relationship is worth something higher than this power struggle that we're stuck in. Like, we've been going around in circles so many times. Let's not do that anymore. Let's put in the effort to heal this thing, because if other people can have good relationships, so can we, right? Put in the effort. And so put in the effort for yourself. If one of your children was like drowning or something in the ocean, you wouldn't be like, I'm too lazy to go save my child. You wouldn't say that. You'd put in every effort. You'd yell at the lifeguards. You'd grab a life raft. You'd do it, even if you didn't know how to swim. Because a lot of the times we go, I don't know how to treat myself in a better way. And so I was taught how, and I'm part Native American, so I'm not trying to be like, but Dr. Circus taught me how. How means I'm stopping the process, because I'm reverting back to a child instead of, look, I'm an adult now. I'm not a child. I'm not in this dynamic. You learn how to tie your shoe from your parents. If they didn't teach you how, you're not going to be here as an 18-year-old or 13-year-old or higher, whatever, because bar mitzvah is 13. So I learned this from the Jewish man, but, and so it's the age of accountability in some cultures and stuff. But whatever age right here, you're not going to be like, well, I don't know how to tie my shoes, so I'm never going to learn, and just trip all over my shoelaces, And so it's like, no one taught me how to treat myself with that much dignity and respect. And so it's like they taught you by their actions that you're not worth the effort, and you are worth the effort. You are worth the effort. Or I wouldn't be spending my free time giving this for free. Like, I'm doing this for free for 7 years. It's so funny. I know it sounds funny, right? That's the first line in the song. But I just can't stand the pain. That's why I do it. C.S. Lewis said that pain is an indicator that something needs to be attended to. God whispers to us in the good things, but shouts at us in our pain. It's like a megaphone to rouse a deaf world. So we do something about it when we're in pain. All right, so because I did not want to sing this song about leaving some girl, because I got ghosted one time, and it really taught me a lot about, wait, where am I getting my worth externally? Or was I wrong to be loving towards another person that just dropped me like I meant nothing to this person, whatever. I don't want to go into all of, I don't mind talking about whatever we need to talk about, but okay, so, but I don't mind talking about someone leaving a counterfeit, like, on this desk, underneath this desk, it raises up so we can eat on it. There's counterfeit $100 bills in there, because my kids used it for some kind of trick or something, for some kind of party, or I can't remember what they got it for, but it's like, but I don't want to bring it up, but it's like, it looks just like a real $100 bill. You might not be able to tell the difference over the camera, but it's not. It's just printed on a piece of paper, and it's not legal tender, And so this is the same thing as a counterfeit relationship, and any of us can turn counterfeit. So this is why it can be complicated. No, it doesn't have to be super complicated. I use the Lord of the Rings a lot. Saruman was a good wizard at first, but even Treebeard said maybe he was already turning bad, or I don't know if anyway, but one of them did. But so Gandalf was a good wizard in the Lord of the Rings, and Saruman was the head of their council, and he was good. But then he started studying the dark ways of Sauron, and he started thinking, oh, well, that team's going to win. I better join that team for the short-term gain, because it looks like they're winning, It's just like they just had the Kentucky Derby, and I happened to be at this Irish pub having my lunch, this salad with blackened salmon, and it was on right when I was there. It was so cool. And so this horse that was a dead last came to the front. So it didn't look like that horse was going to win. I think it was number 19, right? And I forgot it had the word golden in it. You're so golden. God, this is the alchemy. Spiritual alchemy is God wants to turn us from lead into gold. So it's kind of like we came from God, you know, because Plato says all learning is just remembering, and we left heaven and we came down here and we're still made out of love, and God wants to transform us. So I have this one. This was a symbol before David took it, right? This is what I heard. And so if David did, I don't know, but there's one arrow coming down and there's the cross. We die to our egotism, to our programming that we got from childhood, any faulty programming, and let that part die. Like Jesus said, the seed has to go in the ground in order for the tree to grow up. And Jesus died on a tree, and he showed us what that looks like to face the wrath of mankind. And he took the curse that Adam and Eve brought upon us on himself so he could reverse the curse, because he was perfect. So God is perfect and God is just. He needed perfection to bridge this way because we are not perfect. So Jesus did that for us, right? But he also teaches us how to die to ourselves. And then there's this arrow that's going back up. And so I wear this symbol to remind myself to stay. And I have baby Jesus right here with Mary holding him on this one, and an ancient cross. You know, he's the Alpha and the Omega at the beginning and the end. There's the white butterfly. Maybe it'll come around here. It's down there. Do you see it? Come up higher. We'll see. I don't know if you saw it in the reflection, but anyway. So God wants you to be this butterfly, and so you can let go of this old easy way, all right? And the easy way, okay, so I'm hearing Elliot's song. It's all about taking the easy way out for you, I suppose. I can't remember how he does the tune on that, but it's like, and so he's like chastising this part of himself that's taking the easy way out. And he's also, you know, calling out someone that, let's say, was abusive towards him. I know him, and I don't like thinking of him being abused or anyone around him being abused, but anyway, or anyone being abused ever. And so he's just like, yeah, you just took the easy way out. You know, when someone takes the easy way out, it's easier, instead of dealing with your own shame and your own pain and letting God in to heal that, you can just take your wrath out on someone else and be like, you failed that test, instead of looking at all the way you feel like you failed and then just letting God heal that and Christ be the perfection for you and teach you how to walk this the highway. Like Elliot had a song called Dancing on the Highway. This is the King's highway. Walk on this highway. I met this bishop for the first time this past Sunday, and he said one of his favorite songs, I was going to look it up, is this song about a highway. And I started tearing up because I told him, one of my friends is not here anymore, but he wrote a song called Dancing on the Highway. If you go to on X, my Twitter account, at DrCherylM, Dr. Cheryl M, at the top, for the last, since 2016, I've had this same tweet and penned at the top. I made I got a vision, and I was friends with Elliot, this guy named Elliot Smith, and so I made a video with one of his songs. It's showing this higher path and showing dance on this highway. Walk this way. Jesus says, follow me. And he's walking on this high path of love, of deepest love, highest love. Stop taking the easy way out, because the easy way out is let's say someone doesn't deal with their own shame and they don't even realize they're not dealing with their own shame. And their 7-year-old came home and failed their spelling test. And they're like, you're an idiot, you're stupid, calling them names because they're projecting their shame outside. It's easier to look at in someone else. And if you just got all A's, if you got 100%, I'd feel better about myself and I wouldn't have to be drinking right now. That's a lie. That's a lie straight from hell, right? It is the enemy that Jesus says that this is the nature of the enemy. the enemy of our souls. Look in, John was the mystic disciple. John 10:10. These things are real, you all. These things are real. The enemy comes to off us. I'll just say that, and so they don't think that this is anything violent. To off us, to steal from us, and to destroy us. But I have come, Jesus was saying that, but I have come that you may have life and life abundantly. All right, so I saw the butterfly again. And so he keeps saying, like, I want to transform you, but you got to walk this way with me. All right, so let's go back to the song. All right, so that's kind of some of the foundation for this. I love hearing when Willie Nelson comes in with his harmonica. I wonder if, anyway, sometimes I can't find the words still, but because I'm in. Okay, so one more thing is, okay, so instead of taking the easy way, we're learning how to be at ease. And so when you're in your neurotic, addictive self, you're always spinning, you're always stuck on this mind stream and hooked in it. And it says, oh, you know, I'm in lack. I have to go for scraps. All I can take is the easy way, the quick fix, because we don't know yet from our parents, from their actions, that you're worth the effort to take the long road, to build temperance. The word temperance, it's one of the fruits of the Spirit. I have the fruits of the Spirit. Someone gave me this plaque over there, but it's written sideways. But it's love, joy, peace, patience. Let's see what she has on it. Kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. But the word self-control in the Greek has to do with the word temperance. The temperance is to delay the immediate gratification for the greater good that's more remote. Okay, so you delay what's immediately right in front of you. Instead of having Mr. Right Now, you know, I don't choose Mr. Right Now, as cute as Mr. Right Now is. This one guy skated up to me and said, oh, you're going to Mexico? I'll go with you. I'll be your cabana boy. And I was like, I almost like canceled the trip and just didn't even want to go because I just didn't even want to have that thought, you know, and I'm just like, no, thank you. I appreciate it. You know, like he was admiring my 60-pound weight loss. And, you know, I mean, he had talked to me before that had happened, but anyway, it's like when someone is so handsome, he was Greek, right? And comes up to me and, you know, offers to go with me on a trip that included 2 people. But I asked my son if he wanted to go, but he had finals. So now I'm like, no, I'm not going to take Mr. Right Now. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. As handsome as that man was, it doesn't, and Mr. Right Now is going to distract me and dissipate my energy and like harm me from recognizing Mr. Right, the right person for me, right? And I'm not saying if I'm dating or not right now, right? But so it's not wrong to date. I'm just not taking someone on a week-long trip. Like, I'm not dating, and I don't date that way. I date with someone courting me and treating me with dignity and respect. But anyway, I had to learn that I'm worth more than that, worth more than, you know, a one-night stand, you know. Okay, so whatever. But I'm not trying to moralize. You be where you are, but understand you're worth the best. If you would want your 18-year-old daughter not to have one-night stands, then if you're a man, don't do that. And if you're a woman, don't do that. I recommend that. See, you know, ask God, what's the highest path? And I want to take that. And someone was talking to me the other day, and I will not point out who this person was, but in case he or she ever watches this, because, you know, they were just saying it in a private conversation, not for me to like put on a bunch of videos, but like, what? How do you live a chaste life or whatever, you know? And that's not, I mean, we live it to be sober in all things. I'm like, it's supernatural. You have to ask God. Just like forgiveness is supernatural. When you're so mad at someone and they walked all over you or hurt your child or hurt something else, something so precious to you. You know, when you see how precious you are to God, and you see that someone just walked all over that and discarded it like it was trash, like it was nothing, it's like, yeah, you can have this real big anger, you know, and you're just like, God, I leave room for your vengeance. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. He'll repay. He'll come to that person and hold them accountable either in this life or the next, you know. And it's not going to be pretty. It is not going to be pretty for that person at all. And so to forgive is supernatural. Give love beforehand, before that person deserved it. That's what Jesus did for us. God did that for us. He gave us love before we deserved it. All right. Okay, so I know it sounds funny, but I just can't stand this pain. And so we're going to act like this girl in this is this other part of us, not to put down girls in any way. Girl, you recognize this part of you is a counterfeit. I'm leaving you tomorrow. Now, I recommend if you recognize a part of you is a counterfeit, don't put it off till tomorrow. Leave today. Leave in this moment. Be in this moment. Okay, and that's what I was going to say is stop taking the easy way out. Give yourself the greater good that's more remote, that takes more effort. You're worth the effort. And then learn how to be at ease. That's why Eckhart Tolle was saying, ask yourself, am I at ease? Am I being in this present moment? Am I not at ease because I just had a 6-pack of beer? It's not that at ease. I'm at ease because, wow, I chose the more difficult path. And that was really hard, and God helped me to do that. But I'm so at ease because I'm not getting my worth from some random person that I don't know whether he's going to be there in the morning or not, because I, just chose to pretend like we had a relationship when we didn't, because I didn't know his character yet. And, it could have, obviously you create good feelings. It's just like, I used to, when I was about 17, I went to college when I was 17. So I think when I was 18, I started going to these raves and I would dance till 6 a.m. And, I wouldn't take any substances at all. I just wanted to hear the music, and it felt so good to dance. And I got to exercise, and it felt so good to exercise. And I was a gymnast before that. So I was used to exercising, and I liked the feeling, and I didn't think anything really of it. But I learned a lot of things from that. But, you meet other people that are there and they are on different substances. But as soon as you have a problem and you call one of those friends, you can call them and say, hey, there's another rave happening here. And they'll go. But when you call them, when you have a problem, it's all like they all disappeared. No one was there because they're not there for themselves. They kept abandoning themselves. When we abandon ourselves in codependent relationships too, to try to keep that person around by control and manipulation, by getting our hooks in them, by trying to lure them in, by being a seductress or some some guy says, look, I have all this money, you stay around for my money. No, he's worth staying around for his character, for his being, for just being his own self that God created. God put gifts in each one of us. And, he made us and taught us that we can love another person just cause, right? Just cause anyway. So, when the pain wakes you up, you want to leave that addiction. So let the pain wake you up to stop being this false, mechanical, reactive self that just keeps going by the programming you internalize as a child. If my parents stepped on me and hit me, I would internalize that I'm only worth this shortcut, or yelled at me or whatever, this shortcut that they showed me. I didn't internalize as a child that I'm worth more. I'm worth 100% of love 100% of the time. But all you have to do is look at the cross, right? If I have a cross upstairs on my desk. Jesus on the cross. Just look at that for like 5 minutes. Stare at that and go, this is a person that wasn't a masochist. He's showing you, you are worth me choosing to die for you instead of you. I will take that curse upon myself so that you can take my righteousness. It says he gives you his righteous robe and teaches you how to be fully loving. Okay, so I recommend, girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow. Seems to me, girl, I've done all I can for you. See, I beg, stole, and I borrowed. Yeah. So I look up what the idiom beg, stole, and borrowed mean, and it says to obtain by any means necessary implies intense effort. All right, so we know Latoya Okia says this a lot. She's like, I danced for the devil. She said, this is what I did. We tap danced for the devil when we were trying to get these worldly things, when we thought we needed to do everything we could for people to like us and like our stuff and tell us we're great people. And, we do all of this stuff by any means necessary. We go do that. Well, guess what? You can use that gumption, that moxie for the good, for the righteousness, the right wayness, the right way of love. This is the way of love. Walk. So just that same effort you put in to do all of that stuff, to try to get all these people to like you and to or try to get some person to like you, just put that energy. Some people say turn it back in, but I'm like, do whatever you can to glorify God. It's like put that energy into what Latoya Okeia, I love her. She says, she says, go beast mode for the kingdom of God. That's how she calls it. I never heard beast mode before, but it's like, you risk everything. Go 10 toes down for this kingdom of love. And the word kingdom in Aramaic, Jesus spoke Aramaic, and in Greek, basileia in Greek, but malkuta. So those are both the ah sound is the feminine word for the queendom. Anyway, that's something beautiful. So for if you look at one of my favorite quotes is Dostoevsky, and I was at this church the other day and he quoted this quote. I wish I'd written it down how he said it. He said it's from The Idiot too, and I didn't know. I thought it was from Brothers Karamazov, but it says, in the end, the world will be saved by beauty. All right, so you, whether you're a man or a woman, God created a soul in you, the spirit and a soul, but it's meant to be beautiful, and you are beautiful. And I get my nails done like that to go, you are this etheric, shiny thing, for real. And we can be made into that. C.S. Lewis says, Jesus wants to come in, the Holy Spirit fill you, transform you into not a regular horse teaching you how to jump higher, but a winged creature, and we sometimes are in the middle of that process and people think we're idiots because, speaking of the idiot, Dostoevsky, because our wings are like this, they're not out and full like the butterfly yet. You're still in the cocoon and people like discard you. God hid your value from them, and your own value was hid when you kept believing that the programming you just automatically internalized as a child. So I've done all I can for this addiction. I've given everything. And now if you've seen, I don't recommend this show because there's a lot of violence and use of all kinds of substances. But one of my kids wanted me to watch Breaking Bad. So I had to fast forward through so much. And I don't even know if I ought to have watched any part of it. But I worked at a rehab for a year, and that's real. The people walking through that. And so the one young man, that went through, being on that stuff and then off and then back on and then off. And you kept cheering for him like, no, don't go back. Don't ever go back. Please don't go back. Please don't go back. It was horrible. It was horrible to watch him. And I know people are living that. But it's like, why would you treat yourself of such low worth? Because you don't know you're worth more than that. All right. So you're worth more than that. I'm here to tell you, I'm here to speak on God's behalf, through another person that's sharing love today, is you're worth more than that. And so in that show, this guy begged, stole, and he borrowed in order to keep feeding that addiction. And the main guy in that show, he kept doing that to feed his egotism. He kept saying, oh, I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it so you have money for his family. All these things. We make all these excuses why we're doing something crooked and wicked and evil that caused so many other people's lives to be gone. If you actually made that stuff, you're causing so many other people to not be here anymore. You're participating in that. And it's important. You don't shove that down and go, oh, well, no, it would be out there anyway. But whatever. We justify our stuff, so just, I'm not saying I haven't justified my own, I had until 6 months ago or 4 months ago, beginning, it's almost been a year since I started. Let's see it's 10 months ago I started, and it took me 6 months, and I lost naturally 60 pounds off my body. That's almost 1/3 of my body came off of me, right? And I have my muscles still. They were underneath because I was working out all the time before that. So I had the discipline of working out. I just didn't know how I could burn energy to burn the fat off my body. And I didn't know I was worth the effort. It took 2.5 hours a day, 3 days a week of walking uphill. Hey, welcome, on a treadmill. And that's how it burned off. And if someone had told me 20 years ago, oh, it just takes this much effort, I think I would have done it, but I didn't know how much effort it was going to take. So anyway, so even the guy that was making it on that show, and I'm not recommending that show, I know my friends have a thing called Angel Network or PureFlix or something that it edits out all the violence, all the substance use, all of the curse words, so they can watch shows. There's like 5 minutes left, right? I don't know. They can see the storyline still of shows sometimes. So there is some way, and the cinematography was amazing, and there's artistry in these things, but I'm not recommending. But the part that I watched, I'm saying, the main guy in that, it's incredible acting as well, but the main guy in it, it's like he saw by the very end that he was just doing it for his own egotism. I'm doing this because I like the feeling of having all this money, or feeling powerful in this quick fix way, or, that he can, like violence is just, hey, welcome, is like a short-term way to feel powerful. It's when you restrain from violence, though you could be violent, that's more powerful. Now, sometimes it's important to be powerful. Like if a lion's chasing you and your family, and you have to like fight off, like King David fought off a bear and a lion to save the lamb. He talks about it in the book of Samuel, I think. And so it's important to do that when it's time to do that, but or to protect people, But that's not violence. That's protection. But anyway, seems to me, girl, I've done all I can for you. See, I begged, stole, and I borrowed. That's why so now we get to the easy part, right? Okay, is like now I learn how to be easy. When you learn how to walk on this higher path, that you're worth the effort. You're like, am I at ease? How can I go back into this place of my soul's calling and the way that God wants to transform me into this butterfly? I'm easy like a Sunday morning. Well, guess what? Jesus died on a Friday, rose on a Sunday morning, And even in the Lord of the Rings, Gandalf says, look for me at dawn in 3 days, right? And so Jesus says, I will raise up in 3 days. And so it's like we can be like, everybody's working for the weekend, and then Saturday you can get your chores done or go do soccer or whatever, but Sunday it's like, oh, I get the second day of my weekend, So in the world, they'll say Sunday, I'm easy like a Sunday morning, because it's like I got no agenda except it's important to go to church. But we have church sometimes at 5 p.m. so, or whatever, a late church, or Saturday night after sunset you can go to church. But Sunday morning can be easy because you're going to church and you're going to learn about this love that Jesus has for you, and be around other people that worship the Creator instead of self-idolatry that just gets us nowhere. It gets us just beg, steal, and borrow to try to prop up this false egotism of ourselves. Watch a couple videos ago, maybe suddenly, I don't know, I talk about, maybe it's the second time I did, I'm only sleeping, because I talk about how this video game character, I just went into this whole thing about this video game character that I had. And it's like, if you get caught up in that, I had all of these amazing items. I had all this money that I could ever want in game, right? All these people thought you're important because I'm this many levels up in game, like level 77. And then it just opened up to level 70, and I was already above that somehow. It's like people do that in this life. When Jesus says that the seed must die and go into the ground in order for the tree to come forward, the outer shell, your egotism has to give way for your essence to feed on that, to be your real self again. So I say that on the video so you can learn about that. But so that's why I'm easy like a Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. Easy like a Sunday morning. And then here Willie Nelson comes in the duet, right? Why in the world would anybody put chains on me? See, I paid my dues to make it. Everybody wants me to be what they want me to be, but I'm not happy when I try to fake it. No, that's why I'm easy. Easy like a Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. Easy like a Sunday. All right. I was just getting a vision, because you're relaxed. When you're relaxed, you can connect with the divine more. When you're all caught up watching TV shows, stuck in their drama, stuck in your own drama, creating drama. From our addictions create drama, and they hook you in, and then you have to take care of all this drama like I had in the picture in my book. You're not at ease. Am I at ease? It doesn't mean, I even in the Power of Now, I made a whole course on this, 49 1-hour videos from being inspired by this book. We sort of walked through, it's like a review of this book, but my psychologist understanding. And I asked Eckhart Tolle's people, and they said I could briefly quote his book. And then I asked Eckhart Tolle himself, I was at a class, if I could. I love him so much. He's helped me so much. But anyway, I was crying because I remember, okay, so like I was married before, and then the church gave me an annulment, but I was married for a number of years, and I was moving out of the house. when the divorce. And I was trying to see what to bring and cleaning up stuff, and I had like this big or more, like a whole, it was like this, like a whole, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but like shelf underneath we had a big island at the time, right? And it had all of these bulletins from church, from going every Sunday morning, like bringing my kids like this, taking them by myself, because 3 years into my marriage, my husband at the time, who grew up Christian, decided that there's no God, and he was an atheist. But I don't want to go into his life. It's just that's my experience. And so I had told him before we had kids, and I thought this was going to work. I was like, look, well, we agreed to raise our kids Christian before, and I'm not going to have kids with you unless I can raise them to know Jesus Christ, because that's my salvation. That's my love. That's everything to me. And so he agreed to that. But then I'm sitting here bringing, my kids are 2 years apart, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old and a newborn, right, to church every Sunday by myself. And so that was not easy. And I had to pray, and I had to say a lot of times, better late than never. I don't care if I'm in my pajamas, I'm going in my pajamas. But at the church I went to for 20 years, I went to this one church. And now I just got to return back to the same kind. C.S. Lewis is Anglican, okay? So anyway, I went to an Anglican church, and it's like Catholic, where every Sunday you are like, Lord, we confess that we have erred and strayed from our ways. We have not done what we ought to have done, and we have done these things which we ought not to have done. And apart from you, your perfection, there's no health in us. And so have mercy on us, O Lord, and forgive us. And so you go through this thing, and you're actually trying to say it every time, like Billie Holiday. Every song, she sings it a different way. You're present in the moment. You don't just say these words and parrot those. Jesus talked about not parroting words, but you say, I love you. Okay, good. I don't want my child to come home, but he's taking a test right now. But anyway, God be with him. So it's just like, wow, every Sunday. I knew though that, so in the Anglican tradition, it's just like Catholic tradition, they believe that when the priest lifts up the communion bread and the communion wine, that it's turning into Christ in some way. It is Christ's body and blood all over again in that moment, in that present moment. And I only learned that because when I was in Montreal doing my internship, so C.S. Lewis was Anglican, J.R. Tolkien was Catholic. I have a Catholic spiritual director, and I practice Anglicanism, and I'm confirmed Anglican. But what denomination was Jesus? Don't get in your egotism about what denomination you are and be like, oh, I'm better than, I was listening to John Butler. It came on my phone, my car today for some reason, right in the middle of one of these members only of John Butler, this guy John Butler. And he says, someone came up to me the other day and said, is that tree a Christian? Do we ask? But I've had the experience of this weird tree experience with this Christian Native American red elk who's no longer here with us. And I'm part Native American, so I'm not saying I recommend this with everyone. And I know I got to wrap this up because it's already been an hour, I think. But the trees, let me tell you, the trees are slow down and they're deep rooted and their arms are up. And it reminded me so much of this song that I learned as a kid. It goes, let me think if I can do it. Birds in the sky sing their songs to you. Trees in the field lift their arms to you. I want to sing. I want to lift my arms to you. I want to praise you, Lord, much more than I do. I want to. And this other song that came to me even right before I started this. In my life, Lord, be glorified, be glorified in my life. This is in sign language. Lord, be today. I think glorified something like this, but anyway. In my song, Lord, be glorified. So it says, come before his presence with a song. And Ephesians 2:10 says, you are God's poema. You are God's song. So just by being the real you, instead of this false outer personality, mechanical, programmed self, that's not you at all. Thank God I'm not my programming, because my program says, throw her away. She's not worth anything. You bug me because you exist. You annoy me for existing because you're a mirror to me, and I hate this mirror and I hate you. That's my programming, but I'm not that. And I had to learn, easy like a Sunday morning. Sunday morning, I knew, like, whether I recognized it or not, every Sunday that I was going, and they were going to say, this is what I was going to say in Montreal. They said, Cheryl. They said my name because it's such a small church in Montreal, this Anglican church that I found. Because they didn't have Protestant ones. I couldn't find one. So I went to Anglican because Catholics, we didn't know what was going on with Catholics. But anyway, this is my body. They would give the bread, and they knew it was the body of Christ. This is my body, which was broken for you. This is my blood. Here, take this wine. This is my blood that was shed for you. Do this to remember I love you this much. That's how much I love you. And so it's like, I just remembering all the bulletins, and I threw them away. I wish I would have kept them now, but just stacks and stacks. It's Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, like seeming impossible. Because sometimes to just even get there. I'm not trying to feel sorry for myself. I'm just saying. Now it's like, it's easy like a Sunday morning. I'm going to a place where someone's going to reaffirm their real love for me. And this person, Jesus Christ, actually died. He really died. A real person died for you. Otherwise, I wouldn't know this. I'm not making it up in my mind just to have a good story, It is a good story. Tolkien said that, right? Can't you trust J.R. Tolkien? He said to C.S. Lewis. This is how C.S. Lewis came back from being an atheist to being a Christian. He says, he's the myth that's real. He is, all myths point to the real thing. This is the real thing. Ain't nothing but the real thing. Anyway, and so let me go back to this for a second. So why in the world would anybody put chains on me? Let me go get this for a second. I'm going to do this. Wait a second. It'll be worth it. You're worth it. Hold on. She's coming to find me. Now look. Look at this. Do you see how much? Look. 22.6 kilograms. 50 pounds. All right. I had 60 pounds on my body that's off. All right. This is concrete. It's $4. My mom told me, go get it, to see how much I'd taken off my body, because you forget. 3 pounds is like a Crisco can, if you know what that is, right? And so I knew I'd have to clean because there's a little hole in this bag, so now there's a trail of dirt, but you're worth me sweeping that up. Getting some duct tape. I can find the hole and put duct tape on it so I can use this. Okay. Why would anybody put chains on me? You would never take this bag and be to your best friend, hey, why don't you find some place on your body to put this? Like, this is so heavy. Try picking up 50 pounds, all right? But that's what I was doing to myself. That's what I was doing to myself. And I'm not body shaming myself or anybody. But why would we put chains on ourselves? Why would we stay in any kind of addiction? Your worth more. I'm worth more. I wouldn't give that to my worst enemy. Like, I never want to hate anybody, even the people that have hurt me really bad. I don't want to hate them. Life is too short here to hold on to bitterness. That's a chain. Bitterness is a chain. Jesus says to forgive. It says, forgive. If you do not forgive, your Father in heaven will not forgive you. You know why? Because God is love. And when you're stopping the flow of love, you're not seeing this love of God that wants to flow to you. You're blocking that flow. God is love, and you're blocking that flow, not because God's trying to withhold something good from you. He's saying, I'll give you a way to forgive. I died for that person's wrong. Do you think my death was enough to pay for the wrong they did to you? It's like the death of a perfect person. Yeah. Okay. So whatever heinous things I've heard as a psychologist, it's like, wow, like someone, really ought to pay for that. And it's like, Jesus did. He paid for it. Now, the person has to accept that payment, or they will live in the hell that they created. If you look at it like that, they will, and they might have that for eternity. And I wish that on zero people, no people, not anyone, not the worst person ever that we've known of. I don't wish that on anyone. If you've been there or seen visions of it, you would never, ever, or smelled it, or it's just torture. You wouldn't wish it on anybody, not anybody. Anyway, so it's like, all right, so why would anybody put chains on me? All right. And so this is not about like, I was thinking of at 4 a.m, right? I was thinking of guys that are just like, cause it's more guys that I know that do this, but maybe girls these days do it too. I don't know. C.S. Lewis talks about in the book, The Four Loves, how there's different kinds of love. And some people think this is love, to just keep diving in the pool because they like the feeling, that's your flesh again, notice that, of diving in the pool instead of actually learning how to swim and agape love someone. Jesus says, love as I have loved. And he used the word agape. That's this divine love. That's where this forgiveness comes. That's where any kind of way to be chaste in your life or sober in any way, it's supernatural. You're taking from the realm of heaven, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. We were made out of earth as it is in heaven. We're bringing heaven down when we live it. That's why it's a miracle. It's a miracle to live in a sober way. It's a miracle to let go of your old programming. You are a walking miracle, all right? So I got to wrap this up. I mean, I know we could go on forever, but we're not going to. So why in the world would anybody put chains on me? Well, because we learned we weren't worth more than the chains. We learned to try to keep proving our worth to someone else who's not taking any self-responsibility for his own or her own insecurities and shame and all that. And they're like, no, you just need to look better. If you were a size 0, or if you look like this, then, because I never wanted to be someone's trophy. So that was part of the reason I carried that weight. Because I'm just like, I'm not going to be your trophy girl. Like I'm not, but I didn't know. I wasn't trying to do that to my husband in any way. It just was subconscious in me from my childhood because of my relationship with my dad and how he viewed women and just when you see in a society people objectifying women all the time, when you try to control that, and when you finally are like, I'm not going to try to control that, you take that up with God. You've got your problem with God. I'm not dealing. That's a job for Jesus. Like, I'm going to look pretty and I'm going to have my body be slim and whatever. And I'm not going to be in charge of your out of control, because you didn't work on the chains that God will help you walk out of. All right. See, I don't want to get so mad at that. It's just how I've been hurt. So whatever, God's anyway, see, I've paid my dues to make it, right? Okay. So what I was saying is like, this is not about, oh, I want to be free. Cause then on the surface, this song could be like, oh, you're holding me down. Now, if it's an addiction, it is. But if it's just like, some woman that's actually worth committing to, and you're like, oh, I want to be free to what? Jump in a bunch of other pools and have no commitment and have all the perks of a relationship, but you're not protecting any of those women or the children you might create with those women, or any, or vice versa. If you're a girl with jumping from one guy to the next because, I don't know, you just want to, like, I don't know why you'd want to do that. I mean, I understand. I met this really cute guy when I lived in Montreal. Oh my gosh. But I already, never mind. I'm not going to, thank you, God, that did not work. It didn't work to date that person. Anyway, so I've paid my dues to make it. Everybody wants me to be what they want me to be. All right, that's a programming from childhood. If our parents are saying, if you would just do blah, 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 then I wouldn't have to look at my own insecurities. That's how a narcissist operates. It's like, you have to be perfect. And I'm going to change my idea of perfect every day. And, you can be in relationships that are so tyrannical like that, but they're tyrannical because you're taking it in that I have to get my worth from this person. You don't get your worth from another person. Get your worth straight from Jesus Christ. He says, you're worth me dying for you while you were still a sinner, while we were dead in our trespasses. It said he died for us. Okay, anyway. And I had a verse for this verse that came out that I was meditating on this morning is Psalm 128 verse 2. It says, look, for thou shalt eat the labor of your hands, of thine hands. Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. And if you look up, it's so funny. And so I was going to do this different verse, but this was in our morning prayer. And so God put it in my heart. And then look, I looked it up in the dictionary when it says, it shall be well with thee. I know it might be inverted on this, but it says right here, at ease. Well is like, for you will eat the labor of your hands. So all of the work that you put in, you're going to eat the labor of that. The grapes are going to show up on that grapevine, and you get to eat from all the work that I put in to get sober, let's say, or you put in to get sober. It's not about me. I'm just using myself as an example. Happy shalt thou be. Happy is blessed. Blessed, like when Jesus says, blessed are the meek, for they shall see God. Blessed are those who actually make real peace. This is peace in your heart with God, and you carry it to other people because you don't wish any harm for them. For they shall inherit the earth. I think the peacemakers, right? Or the meek inherit the earth. Blessed are the pure in heart see God. All right, when you're pure in heart, when you let him purify your heart and forgive you of everything past, you're not anything past anymore. When the blood of Christ covers you, if you can understand that, no matter what your faith practice was before, like understand what I'm saying, because God, I know that God has already shown you this in lots of different ways. I'm just expressing it a different way. All right, because C.S. Lewis says in Mere Christianity that God is making people into Christians. A lot of them are Christians, but don't yet call themselves Christians. And he says there are some Christians, even clergy people, who are no longer Christians, but still calling themselves by that name. So that's heavy. So everybody usually means our parents in childhood wants me to be what they want me to be. But I'm not happy when I try to fake it. That doesn't bring me this real happiness. So happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee. Well is the word tov. And so I learned in Hebrew this song, Hene ma tov u'manayim sheverakim gam yachad. Echad is like one. Behold, it's a psalm, how good and how pleasant it is when brothers and sisters, when we can all live together as one. It's good and pleasant. That's what that is. It shall be at ease with thee. All the effort you put in, Jesus says that. Don't worry. He says that God cannot be mocked. It's in the Bible, and Jesus says it in a different way, if not this way. It's in different parts of the Bible. It says a man or a woman will reap what they sow. So if you put in these good seeds, the slow, boring thing, me walking on the treadmill Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 6 months, 2.5 hours, that's like 8 miles on an incline. And I kept increasing the incline. When it got too easy, I increased the incline. See, when it gets too easy, you don't take the easy path. And then it's easy afterwards. Because like now I'm walking around 60 pounds lighter, right? 55 to 60 pounds lighter than that, because I get water weight still. And I didn't want to go below 128. Like I don't really want to go to 125. So I'm trying to figure that out. So I usually fluctuate between 128, 133, 135. So when
anyway, just to be completely on the up and up, but it's over this bag, and who knows, when I started, I might have been more than, the weight that I was that one day when I finally bought a scale. I didn't have a scale because I didn't want to measure myself by that. I just told myself that. Anyway, let's go to the last part, the bridge. I want to be high, so high. Okay, and then it says, there's all these verses about the Lord. Anyway, I've talked about it in all sorts of other verses. All other songs. Lord, when it's capitalized, the I am that I am, you're going above duality. You're going to the absolute infinite beingness God who's above all of this. So I always want to be high, so high above, because God can see above everything, and he's making moves in the background that you're not seeing, right? And so I want to be high, not high like the shortcut highs that people take because they don't know their worth. You're worth more than the shortcut, and you're not lazy. You just didn't know you're worth the effort. I'm worth the effort. You see that I'm worth the effort? If I hadn't made that effort, I wouldn't be giving you my testimony right now of the effort that it took for me to lose that, and for me to lose that old identity that was so ingrained in me because I believed my dad, and he believed his dad, all the way back to the liar that talked to Adam and Eve and told them that they needed to take from the wrong tree, and they were already in paradise. Paradise. That word means so much to me because Jesus on the cross, the thief next to him said, remember me, Lord, when you go to your kingdom. Right? And he was dying because he committed a bunch of wrongdoing, murders, or whatever he did. He's on the cross next to Jesus, and he says this. And Jesus, because he recognized in that moment, Jesus as Lord, that's all. He didn't have to be baptized. The water might have come out of Jesus' side and baptized him, but whatever, I'm just saying, it's like, he didn't have to say, I am a Christian, but he says to Jesus Christ, he says, remember me when you get to your kingdom, because he saw his whole life flash in front of him, and he's like, don't you know, to the other thief, we're here for a reason. He didn't do anything. Can't you see that? And Jesus says, today, this moment, that's for you. All right, this is for you. This moment, you will be with me in paradise. All right, you can be right now. Easy like a sun. I want to be high, so high. I want to be free to know the things I do are right. I want to be free, just me. Just you, your real self, your real essence, not your false personality self, just you and the creator of the universe, who's divine love. And God is happy to shine love through you. And the more shines who you are, made in the image and likeness of God, the more you feel like your real self. I want to be a real boy, like Pinocchio, a real girl, your real self. It's your real self. My real self is not just this, size 0 self. That's what I am. So size 0 on my pants, but I don't want to turn around and show these pants. It doesn't matter. You don't have to believe me. It's like that. I'm more than my size. It doesn't matter. I know my real self is this shiny, etheric thing, and my real self beyond that is this spirit soul being that God is refining with the fire. He puts me through the fire. All right, so that's it. And so I'll wrap it up. That's why I'm easy. Thank you, Lionel Richie. Thank you, Nikki Bloom and the Gramblers sing this on YouTube like so beautifully. They do it in their car while they're driving their tour bus, and it's awesome. And Lionel Richie does an amazing job. I'm sure with the commodores were sort of before my time, but I got to hear the duet with Willie Nelson. He's doing the harmonica. Anyway, that's why I am. When you say I am, you're calling on your divine self. So don't say I am these horrible things before. I am loved. I am redeemed. I am rescued. I am saved. I am healed. I am whole. I am pure. I am forgiven. I am a conqueror. I am a perseverer. I'm alive. I get to be alive. It's this power of now. It's like, I get to be in this place right now. Loving you guys, you women and men, like the best of my ability in this moment. That's why I'm easy. Easy like a Sunday morning. That's why I'm easy. Easy like a Sunday morning. All right, thanks for being here. I almost said sorry it went too long, but I am not sorry. I do always want to include everything because I think this might be the only time we get to see each other, and I need to just trust that there's going to be more times. But I never know. This could be my last day. Who knows? You never know. So always be excellent, do your best, and let go of the rest. All right? All right, much love.